Today, I want to welcome you. If you arrived here, it's not by accident. Maybe you've been quiet for too long. Maybe you've done everything right, but no one noticed. Maybe you've carried your strength in silence, hoping that someday someone would truly see you. This is the story of Helena. But if you listen closely, you might feel that this is also your story. Helena never liked attention. She wasn't the kind of person who needed to be in the spotlight. While others spoke louder, took credit, or showcased their success, she chose a quieter path, not because she lacked confidence, but because she understood that not all power needs to be loud. She believed that real strength didn't need applause to exist. That truth didn't need to be announced to be real. At work, Helena was always the first to arrive and the last to leave. She did more than what was asked, not because she wanted recognition, but because she believed in doing things well. Yet time after time, promotions went to someone else. People who spoke more, even if they did less. And though it stung, she never complained. She simply returned to her tasks, steady and unseen. Her friends often said, "You need to show off more, speak up, make them see you." But Helena would just smile and reply, "I'd rather be good than loud." It wasn't arrogance. It was her way of living with integrity, even when no one was watching. One day during a team meeting, her manager praised a new employee for completing a difficult project. Helena sat silently, recognizing the file on the screen. It was hers. She had worked on it for weeks, stayed late, corrected every detail, but her name wasn't mentioned. She felt her chest tighten, not from anger, but from a deep ache, the kind that comes when your effort becomes invisible. And yet, she didn't speak up. Instead, she went home, lit a candle, and wrote in her journal, "I'm still proud of what I did, even if no one knows." That wasn't the first time she had been overlooked. But what no one saw was how Helena's quiet work held everything together. When others stumbled, they turned to her. When chaos broke out, it was her calm that restored order. Slowly, without noise, she became essential. Not because she demanded it, but because she earned it, quietly and consistently. Then came the day when the system crashed. Everything stopped. Panic filled the office. No one knew how to fix it. But Helena, with quiet confidence, walked to her desk, pulled out a notebook, and began restoring everything, step by step. No drama. No panic, just grace under pressure. The silence in the room was deafening. Later that day, her manager approached and asked, "Why didn't you tell anyone you had a backup plan?" She looked up and said, "I didn't need to." And in that moment, for the first time, they truly saw her. Not just as a dependable employee, but as the quiet force behind everything that worked. From that day on, something changed. She didn't become louder, she didn't start promoting herself. But people began to pause when she spoke. Decisions waited for her input. And although she never asked for a title, it eventually found her. Not because she chased it, but because she had become someone whose presence was impossible to ignore. But Helena's quiet strength wasn't only at work. In her personal life, she lived the same way. She remembered birthdays without reminders. She helped her aging mother every week without ever mentioning it to anyone. She sent encouraging messages to friends who didn't always respond. She celebrated others without expecting anything in return. And when she was in pain, She carried it like a quiet stone, not for attention, but because she didn't want to add weight to anyone else's shoulders. One evening, long after helping her mother through a long illness, Helena sat alone on her balcony. No one knew how much she had endured. No one saw how many nights she cried in the kitchen, wiping away tears before the kettle finished boiling. But in that stillness, under a quiet sky, she didn't feel invisible. She felt enough. You see, Helena understood something rare. That real success isn't what the world claps for. It's what you can live with at the end of the day. It's the person you become when no one's watching. It's the kind of legacy that doesn't come with titles, but with presence, with consistency, with soul. Maybe you've been like Helena. Maybe you've been overlooked, unheard, underestimated. Maybe your silence has been mistaken for weakness. But what if that silence isn't a void? What if it's power under control? What if it's wisdom choosing peace over performance? In a world that rewards volume, sometimes the most courageous act is to remain grounded. To keep building even when no one claps. To keep showing up with love even when it's not returned. To keep giving your best even when it goes unnoticed. Let them underestimate you. Let them think you're not ambitious because you don't broadcast your dreams. Let them laugh when you choose silver over gold. Because you understand something deeper, that consistency builds more than applause. That dignity lasts longer than spectacle. And maybe, just maybe, your story, your quiet, steady, sacred story is exactly what the world needs more of. Not to impress, but to inspire. Not to shine louder, but to remind others that they don't need to prove their worth to exist. If you are Helena, or if you're becoming her, I want you to know, I see you. I see the strength it takes to keep walking when no one says thank you. I see the wisdom in your silence. I see the love in your choices, even when no one claps. You are not invisible. You are not weak. You are not behind. You are simply walking a quieter path, and that path is no less powerful. That path is sacred. If this story touched something inside you, please leave a comment, a like, or subscribe to this channel. Share it with someone who needs a reminder that they don't need to shout to matter. This is my vessel of light, and here your existence never needed permission.